writes what you can make. Because at first, I want this. Oh, I want this big skyscrapers. And it's like, yo, calm down. Make a movie first. Chill out. So They Came From the Attic was basically an attic of a house. They came from the attic. Simple. Keep it simple.
This episode is sponsored by Peloplat.
Anthony, it's good to see you. It's been a total of 24 hours since our super exciting live show that we did yesterday. How did you enjoy that?
Oh, it was a rush. I was I don't know. How did you feel? I was super nervous about it all day, and I had a pit in my stomach up until we got going. But then once we got started, it was just lots of fun. It felt great. I didn't even notice the audience like the entire time, but we got to do our show, do our thing in front of people who were listening, and it felt exhilarating. How about you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and just to give you some context, we recorded a live show yesterday that is going to be out next week, and it was super exciting because this was an event that was held by Sunbelt Rentals, which is formerly known as William F. White, and Tug Phipps, who organized this event. He and his team, they are just huge supporters of indie film in Vancouver, and Tug is one of those guys who has helped thousands of independent filmmakers here. And this is a guy that just gives back so much to the community. And so they held this event called Hot Set Social. And there were a ton of things to do. You can check out all this new camera gear. They had this lift, this like man lift that went 125 feet into the air that you could go up, and it was terrifying. I didn't do it because I'm terrified of heights, but I saw some other people. And there's barbecue and just like a ton of familiar faces in the Vancouver indie scene. And throughout the day, there were these panels, and Anthony and I got the opportunity to host a panel. It was the final panel of the day, and we interviewed Final Destination Bloodlines co-director Zach Lipovsky and Sterling Bancroft, who is the director of photography of Zach and Adam's other film, Freaks. And the three of them just finished shooting Freaks Underground, the highly anticipated sequel to this like awesome 2018 sci-fi cult classic that Zach and Adam wrote and directed for $1 million. And then coming off of Final Destination Bloodlines, it was just so exciting to talk to Zach and Sterling about making Freaks Underground and everything that went into the development of both of these films. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And to do this regular podcast recording in front of a crowd, a packed room, full of people that are interested to just get into the nuts and bolts of indie filmmaking. I don't know. I had a blast, and like you, I was nervous going into it, but as soon as we started, talking with Zach and Sterling, it was just it was so much fun.
I had people coming up and talking to me, telling me how they have started listening to our podcast over the past couple of months. Like not just people I already knew or something like that, but people who actually said, "Oh, I didn't realize you guys were the hosts of Off the Lot." And then we started talking about that and started to just talking about how that all came to be as well. And it was very interesting because I started to think, oh my gosh, there's actually people paying attention to this podcast. So it's more than the 20 that I thought were. It's clearly quite a few people, and that was it's great. It told me a lot, Ken, about how these conversations we've been having, and also just the fact that we have this resource for filmmakers and for the film community, whether it's locally or outside of Vancouver, is really starting to resonate and starting to help people, and maybe making our little mark on the world in this way.
I think so. I think you're right, and it's always so nice to hear from people who either just started listening to the podcast, or we met somebody yesterday, a producer, a friend of ours, Josh, who I mean I met him for the first time, but he's listened to every single episode, and it was just hearing that over and over again, especially from former students that I taught at Vancouver Film School, who were at the event yesterday. And one of them told me that it just felt like an extension of the lessons that I used to give at the film school. And, for 1 hour a week, we talk to people, we uncover new ways to make independent films. We learn ourselves. Just we're always learning about different ways to put things together. And so not only is this a great resource for other people, but it's a great resource for us. And I'm happy that we're doing it. I hope people continue to listen and get something out of it. And we love to hear from you about what elements of this podcast you love, what you want to hear more of, and we can always tailor it that way. And so, this is an evolving project. and I'm having a blast doing it.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll want to listen to this episode next week with Zach and Sterling, because I think there's just a lot of great stuff in there that will help anybody. And I mean, it's both motivating, inspiring, and informative at the same time, and just a wonderful two people to be able to have the privilege to be able to sit down and interview. Especially since Final Destination at the as of this recording is hit the world by storm and is basically one of the top films in the planet in the theaters. So
yeah, it's quite a feat that those guys pulled off. And then I just love that they went and made a studio film, and now they're going right back to their roots and making a low budget indie with Freaks Underground. And these guys they're doing it right, in my opinion. They have their hands in both pies, and I don't know what metaphor I'm going for here. I'm not great with metaphors that way. But, the point is they're doing it really, really well, and I'm very happy for them. So definitely check out next week's episode.
And they, along with like a couple of the other panels that were there, like Vancouver seems to be the place to be doing things. If you want to do it differently, do it in British Columbia, do it in Vancouver, or at least do it with the groups that we had the opportunity to see at Sunbelt. I loved your comment about the lift, because I saw that. I was like, this is like Playland just opened up or something. Like people were riding dollies and techno cranes and Russian arms and taking lifts up, and I was like, this is like a film Playland right now.
Film Playland, yeah, it was a little bit of a theme park. So once again, Tug and the team at Sunbelt Rentals, thank you so much for hosting such a fantastic event and for having us and giving us the opportunity to do a live show. It was just a blast. So moving on, Anthony, I heard that you wrote an article for the Pelleplat Writing Challenge this month. And I'm curious as to how that went and what your article was about.
I decided to write an article for the category of supporting characters who stole the show. I had like so many that I was thinking about, like everywhere from Tommy Lee Jones in Goodfellas to even like Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda, like some of the old school ones from the 80s. But I zeroed in on, because I've been studying a lot of Stoicism lately, I zeroed in on Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. And I wrote a sort of a Stoic's guide to Anton Chigurh kind of approach to it. So why even as a supporting character, he's actually the moral center of the film. And so I kind of talk about how his philosophical approach, what the coin toss means, and then sort of I get into some details about like why I think he's kind of steals the movie, because while you've got Tommy Lee Jones and Josh Brolin in this film, and I mean Woody Harrelson's in this film, and it's actually kind of Javier Bardem's sort of breakthrough film. He won an Oscar obviously for it as well. But all of those characters are such interesting characters, but it seems as though they're all basically circling the planet of what Anton Chigurh's character is. So I totally encourage everybody to go. You can go read my article, but read all the other ones as well. And I don't need votes, but if you want to vote for me, you can. The really interesting thing though was then to see what everybody else had written as well, which was really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to just scroll the site and see what people are writing about. And I think like writing about films, yeah, you could write reviews, but the way that also these writing challenges unlock another sort of element of creative writing within you, and like make you think about movies a different way. And I love this challenge, right? Like the supporting character that stole the show. And there are so many of these types of movies that have these characters that are in for just a scene or two that just completely move you and leave you speechless, and you're like, oh my god, like that's what an amazing character. And the casting of it, the writing of it, I totally agree. Anton Chigurh is like does steal the show. It's so memorable. How many times are you in a meeting and it's referenced as No Country for Old Men, and it's such a like a great neo-western in a way, thriller. And so as far as like diving into the writing challenge portion of it, like how did you find tackling the writing of this article?
I decided to kind of treat it like an old university essay. So I sort of came up with a thesis and did a little bit of research, rewatched the film again, kind of got some inspiration there, and then brought it together. One of the things I made a mistake about those, I read a couple of other people's articles first. It was very hard to turn that off of kind of like articles that I thought were good. And I started playing the comparison game between, I got to make sure I write something at least as, good at that as that one, and then I started like counting the word length.
What did you think made them good? Like, what was it that moved you about those articles?
Well, I'm always attracted to the people who dig deeper into certain areas of filmmaking or characters, and go beyond sort of the standard, like the critical. Oh, this was a really good portrayal because of this, and this, and go more into the here's what that means for us. Here's why that lighting setup works from a philosophical level, or what the filmmaker is telling us about their perspective on things in doing so. So I read a couple of articles that had that kind of approach to it. And it made me actually think, it made me really see this as a benefit for filmmakers to do, because something I think that can make us all better filmmakers is if we truly take a step back and look and see why things work. Like, why does a story grab you? Why does, it's Jaws 50th anniversary, and I was having a discussion with someone the other day about Jaws, not to get off track, but just saying, like, why is Jaws so resonating versus all the other shark movies and all these other ones that are out there, or even the sequels? And you kind of think to yourself, oh yeah, there are very defined choices that the filmmaker made that might not even be necessarily apparent, but when you dig into them and you think to yourself, oh, there's some really good, not just like technical choices, but the technical choices really inform why the story matters and what the story is trying to tell you. And they add something to the tension you're supposed to feel, or to the release you're supposed to feel, or to the relationships between the characters. And you start to admire the filmmakers a little bit more, but then you start to think, well, that's the bar for filmmaking, is to think this many layers deep in your filmmaking, so that when you deliver whatever film you deliver, it delivers more than just the surface level.
No, it's so true. And like, and diving into the why of it all. Why was this lens choice made? Why was this lighting choice made? Why is the story the way it is, and told in this way? Like, give the same script to 5 different filmmakers and you should have 5 different movies, right? And that you just reminded me of, like, even going back to when we were both in film school, there was the film history class, and that was one of the best classes because it was just a deep dive into the thematic approach and the technical approach to serve the story and serve the theme, and what went into making those movies. And it's just so fun to dive into those and have those discussions. So that's what I love about these Pelleplat articles, and the opportunity to write about movies again, is just making your brain think, oh yeah, there's so much more than just the popcorn entertaining nature of a movie, right? There's so much more going on. And as directors, we're constantly adding that into our movies and hoping that people pick up on it. And 90% of the people won't. But then if you start to look deeper into movies and see how these things are constructed, it's just fun to pick things apart. And sometimes even the schlockiest B movie, Roger Corman-esque, dumb, fun, entertaining movies can have so many layers to them as well. It's fun to just dive into that.
Even though filmmaking is a collaborative medium, there are defined voices and visions and perspectives that come into almost every film, even the films that seem like they're throwaways. Nobody starts off making a bad movie thinking they're making a bad movie. They start off making the best movie that they can conceive in their head. Now, it might turn out to be subpar, but ultimately we all start by telling a story, right? And we all want to tell a story, and then we try to execute it, and then we sometimes hit, sometimes we miss, but one way or another, we wanted to bring a vision or a voice to the film.
Yeah, it's very true. And just on that note, that just reminds me of discussions I've had lately with a director friend who's working on a studio feature, and continues to say that movies, like, inherently don't want to be made. It's always a struggle to get a movie made. It's so easy to not make a movie, right? It's such a struggle to get that movie made. And so, yeah, everybody has the best intentions, and problems arise, and you end up with whatever you end up. Yeah, there's just so much that goes into that process. And so then also looking at it from a critical standpoint, and writing about it and diving into the layers of the movie. Look, these challenges are also a lot of fun that Pelleplat has. And so this month, there were 3 challenges. You can submit your article until the very end of the month. So June 30th, end of day. The judging happens right after that. You can vote for these articles. You can vote for Anthony's if you feel like it. I'm sure Anthony would greatly appreciate it, but no pressure. But check out these articles. We also have, we're excited to announce the 3 articles for July that are coming up. And so if you are inclined to write an article, you can win cash. There's $2,400 US that Peloplet gives out every month. There are multiple winners. If you write a review, you can win some money. So why not take a stab at it if you love writing about movies? And so July's writing challenge prompts, I should say. The first one, the movie that reminds me of summer. Long days, warm nights, everything is a little bit more possible. Whether it's set in the heat, soaked in nostalgia, or just captures that fleeting golden feeling, write about the movie that reminds you of summer. So some example films like Do the Right Thing, Mamma Mia, Dazed and Confused, Licorice Pizza, I love that one personally, Stand By Me, and of course, the ultimate summer movie, Jaws.
The second one is a scene to remember. So you're going to write about one scene that took a movie from good to great. And maybe it changed the tone, deepened the characters, or simply just gave you chills. Tell us what you felt in the moment that everything clicked. And so some example films would be the airplane scene from Bridesmaids, the lawyer up asshole scene from Social Network, the box scene from Seven, Back to the Future's time travel scene, the first time you saw time travel, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Manson fighting scene at the end, and then the Royal Tenenbaums with that razor blade scene.
And the third writing challenge prompt for July is I Ship It, matchmaking two characters. So summer love is in the air and you are the matchmaker. Choose any two characters and invent the ship of your dreams. Write a totally original crossover love story for the ages. You could take the characters from The Materialists and mix them with the characters from 500 Days of Summer, the characters from Challengers or Anyone But You and put them together, or Romeo and Juliet and Palm Springs. Whatever you want to do as far as shipping multiple characters, you can write an article about that. So those are the prompts for July. Again, you can win some cash. Go to peloplat.com/offthelot and enter to win. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll read those articles as well.
And it's a lot of fun to do. And it does, it can take as long or as short as you want to. It's more wonderful just to be able to think about what you want to say and bring your own original thought to it. There are no wrong answers in these articles, which is great.
Now, last thing we should touch on before we have this amazing interview for the rest of the episode is the guest himself, Jason Mills. Let's talk about this. I think this is such a fun interview. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there to meet Jason, but I listened to it, and I think that people are going to really love this discussion because Jason is the ultimate micro-budget filmmaker. I can't think of anybody who epitomizes the thesis of this show of just making movies on your own terms, not asking for permission, more than Jason Mills. He's a Vancouver local. He makes feature-length films, sometimes in like 4 to 6 weeks. They go up on YouTube. He's made so many features. They're reaching millions and millions and millions of hits, of views. And it's wild to see how this guy just approaches film and puts these things together and just does it on his own.
It really just takes all of the excuses out of any reason not to make a film. It's going to be very interesting to listen to this episode and then listen to Zach's episode next week. I highly recommend, if you're binge listening, listen to these 2 episodes back to back. You will see some very interesting parallels, but some huge differences in obviously how they're finding success, because both are finding success obviously with their filmmaking, but you'll see a very common thread and theme in both of their philosophies towards what filmmaking really means.
I can't agree more. So without further ado, everybody, Jason Mills.
Jason Mills, the one, the only. Today, we are speaking with Jason Mills, the founder of Mills Picture Studios and a prolific independent filmmaker based in Vancouver, British Columbia. Born in England and moved to Canada at the age of 12, Jason caught the filmmaking bug early, creating mini movies with his dad's old video camera. Over the past decade, he's written, directed, and produced an impressive 18 feature films on ultra-low budgets, including his breakthrough horror film, They Came from the Attic, which was picked up by Lionsgate UK. What sets Jason apart is his one-person army approach. He handles everything from cinematography to editing to sound mixing, proving that passion and resourcefulness can triumph over big budgets. His YouTube channel has over 130,000 subscribers, where he shares his films for free, and he's also an instructor at Delta Film Academy, mentoring the next generation of independent filmmakers. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go to the origin story here. You've said in some of the writings that you wanted to make films from the age of 12 when you moved to Canada. What was that moment of your life that made you think, this is what I want to do with my life?
Grade 10, It was like I didn't like writing like essays or anything, so I was kind of like one of those students who was like, okay, whatever, okay, just make a movie then. So I was like, oh, okay. So I made a movie, and that I actually gave the teacher in that class my first movie. I came in and gave her the DVD of my first movie because she was the one that kind of allowed me to do it and let me do it. So I made a film, and then it just snowballed.
And that was a feature film, like a full length feature film?
It was like a 20-minute film, just like made with friends. Ridiculous, really. But it sparked something.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was called Dream Killer. It was pretty bad.
Can we find that one online?
I actually have the VHS. I have a VHS tape. I was going to upload it. I'll see. Maybe.
Maybe it's a like where they all came from kind of story.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. And then was your first feature They Came from the Attic?
Yeah, first feature was They Came from the Attic. So I did a little course called Digital Cinema Push, and that's how I met Garnet Campbell, and we work together a lot now. But he was the teacher of that course, so we actually made a film doing that, a short film, and then after I just said I wanted to make a feature. Everyone was like, "You're crazy, buddy. You're crazy." I'm like, "No, let's do it." So I just did it, and like I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it and I finished it, and it got released with Lionsgate UK. That sounds awesome, Lionsgate UK. It didn't get me any money, but it wasn't for money. Like my first, I would say 8 movies, I'm just doing for the passion. This is not about money, but like it will come if you keep at it. You know what I mean?
But were there any lessons that you got kind of from that first movie, maybe from these first like 8 films that you've done that sort of that you carried on?
First movie, I had a crew of like 30 or something like that. It was a big set. And my first thing I walked on, I'm like, they were giving me tea. It was like, whoa. I was like, what is this? I thought I was just making a $5,000 movie or whatever. Let's just make this. I didn't know anything about it. And it was overwhelming. So from the first one to the second one, it was from 30 to about 4 or 5 crew. So I cut the crew down because I wanted to do more. Because in the first one, I just directed. And I felt like I was kind of missing out on a lot. Like I want to get on the camera, I want to like, I did edit all the movies, but it's like the first one I never had the camera. Andy Hodges did that. That's how I met Andy, and that was a great film to make. It was really fun. I played the creature as well, one of the monsters in the movie. So I did a like me and my brothers, and my brother was a makeup artist at the time. It was a crazy. I can't believe it when I think back. It's just like whoa. But then after that, my third movie, I think that was Alien Psychosis, and that movie was just 3 Hours Till Dead. That was 3 Hours Till Dead. That was my favorite movie to watch of my movies is 3 Hours Till Dead. That's the zombie movie that I did, and that one it was just there was a lot of zombies, a lot of people, probably more than They Came from the Attic, but I felt it felt good. It felt like I was ready to do that. But then again, I still was clashing and I wanted to do more. So it's like, and then I ended up like, after that, I made a movie, Bigfoot Country. Bigfoot Country, it was like made in a weekend, didn't even have half a script. And that's one of my best selling movies out there and watching. You can watch it. It's got like 8 million views on YouTube. It's huge. And that was made just on a weekend for fun, basically. They're the ones that I really enjoy making.
Yeah, is that kind of the thing? Is like you really enjoy the ones where you're kind of like you just get some creative inspiration and go and do it?
Full passion. And I think you can like I know that these films I'm not trying to compete with Hollywood massive hits. It's not about that. It's about like I'm trying to make these movies look as best they can for very little like costings and stuff.
And do you still do your own cinematography?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Amazing. Who do you hire? Who are the crew you can't do with?
Makeup artists. So Freakies, I needed this guy to be made for Freakies, which is like a Gremlins kind of 80s feel movie. So I do get the makeup artist that I need, and sound is even, I can do that now. And it's like, because COVID, so I made a Key to Christmas through COVID. And that's my first kids movie. I had as my daughter was there, my son. I have 4 kids now, so I'm a little burned out on everything right now. But it's coming back. But the Key to Christmas was I made this movie, and I had to do it in COVID, so no one would want to be in the same room at that time. It was like crazy, right? So I had to shoot different scenes and clips, and if you watch the movie, there's a lot of just one person, because that's the way I did it. And I think that movie's great. That movie's been out for about, I would say, 5 years or something like that, but we haven't started seeing a little bit of like cash flow. It's just started now after 5 years, because it's a Christmas movie. It takes a while to, but it's never in my head about making tons of money. I want to make a living doing what I love, and that's what I try and do. So I try and pay the people that I can, like actors I want paid. Basically, if I get a makeup artist or whoever, music is someone I hire as well. But this AI stuff is getting pretty crazy. Like,
You've got a film right now that you're trying to make using
the Freakies. So I made this movie. This is this thing. So I made this movie with the puppets, and it's on YouTube. You can watch it for free right now. It's actually like, there's an extended version coming soon. But then I met VO3, and I tested it out and had some, like, it's not as amazing as you see on the ads and stuff like that. It takes a little work. But when you have the model that you've created, so you've hired the makeup artist, they've created this, you can make this move with a prompt, and it's absolutely amazing. So I've tried it with a bit of the Freakies. So now I'm doing an AI enhanced version of the Freakies, and that's going to be coming out as well. So you can watch a version of it like the old school way, or the way that life is going to go. There's no way out of this. Embrace it, use it. Like, I don't believe in creating the whole movie AI and just sending it out there. Like, that doesn't interest me. But when I have the animation skills, that I'm not going to go and pay an animator, because I can't afford that anyway, but it can just improve lower budget movies. So it's only going to make lower budget movies better. I'm telling you, once I show you the video of the difference, it's the same puppet, but it's alive. It's nuts.
And that's an interesting thing, because like, so you said, you obviously you don't want AI to be like creating the whole film from scratch and all that other stuff, because that kind of takes away the human and your creative drive for it. Like, you basically, you seem to work on passion, which is obviously, that's, working on making the project in passion, but you're using the AI to remove the barriers and the limitations to expressing what that passion, what you're trying to get out of that passion. Like, you have a story idea and you're just trying to make it better, but you can't afford $100,000 to do the CGI, or take 5 years to go and learn it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it doesn't take away from that.
Yeah, I would say creative writing is what I wished I listened to in school, because that's what it's going into, is being creative in your writing to prompt these things. But like, say if you wanted a car crash in a scene, for me to do that, it's quite dangerous and all this, but you can just prompt a car crash, put the picture of the cars, and make that happen in seconds, and it looks legit. And you only need that in a second, because then you'll cut into the car with a projector, and then you'll do the crash. So it's very helpful for guys like me. Like, I can see it instantly, and it's like, wow, this is like growing my mind. I'm still making the movie. Like, I could even like Freakies is going to have 2 versions, which I think is pretty cool. Like, you can watch it the way that 80s would do it, or you can watch it now. And it's the same puppet, but it just moves and blinks, because I wanted it to blink. That's the main thing. And for me, I was like getting lots of numbers coming back and how much it's going to cost me just to make the thing blink. So I'm just like, oh, I'll just do it as it is. And then the AI thing came up, and I'm just testing it, and it's absolutely amazing.
So, like, let's just say you took Freakies and you made Freakies like the 80s version, if you will. Roughly how much do you think you spent on that one?
The money went into the doll. That was it. I would say the movie, because I built all the sets in studio. I had a studio in Richmond there, like, but the tunnel, just, I wanted to be home for my kids, and it's not working. So I have a little studio here, which is enough for me to work right now. But I built the sets by myself: kitchen, bedroom, living room. It was all built, and that was really fun. But I used like free stuff that I got off the side of the road to build the sets and stuff like that. So I spent a little bit on the building it. Like, I would say maybe $3,000 on the movie for Freakies. Yeah, and that movie is I love it personally, because it was more of a passion of mine, because I love the 80s, like this stuff. Like, I just love it, and having my own kind of creature in amongst it is kind of cool that we done this. But the AI just helps it out. just makes it that much better.
This is really fascinating because you're taking this sort of filmmaking, and the one barrier in filmmaking is that no matter how if you want to make a quote unquote movie for whatever your resources are available, oftentimes that movie ends up being you're still competing. You're not competing with Hollywood, but you're more your movie, it's still going to be 2 hours of someone's time or an hour and a half of someone's time to watch it. So you're competing from a time perspective with another movie, whether that's Mission Impossible or a higher budget horror film and so on. So the time is still there. The cost is basically the same for the consumer, because whether they're going to watch it on a streaming network or they're going to watch it on YouTube or something, they're paying the same amount. So you really have to get attention on your film, but that barrier is often what prevents most filmmakers from even getting started, because they go, well, I need to raise at least $250,000 before I can even get off the ground.
I've obviously had investors and stuff, but I wish I never did, because those movies and stuff don't make the money that you expect. The most I would put into a movie is probably 25,000, just because for that to get that back is quite difficult on low budget movies, depending on what you're doing. Like, I know my audience a bit more now because I have the YouTube, almost 140,000 now, which is amazing. I have an audience, but the audience is Bigfoot, mermaids, World War II audience. Because if I put Freakies on there, it doesn't do near enough as what these movies do. And we have 8 million, 7 million, 12 million views on these movies. It's a lot of 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, but nothing like those movies. So I made Bigfoot Country 2, and that released on YouTube, but it hasn't released on platforms yet. I early released them. It's kind of like a test. I put them on my channel to get, it basically pays for the movie, and then I can start fixing the things that I need to do. So that's basically what YouTube is, very helpful like that.
So wait, let's back up on that. So what you're actually you're putting out like a test screening on YouTube?
Basically, yeah. Like Freakies, the one I posted, there's actually an edited, an extended version, which is the same 80s vibe with no AI, no nothing like that, but it's just more finished at the end. Because I wanted to get that out for Halloween. It was a Halloween special for my channel. So that's why but I actually have an epic version that's going up. But now I have a more epic version with the AI. So I've got these three. So I'm going to be doing a cool video about the VO3 and using it in a smart way instead of a controlling way. You don't want it to control your whole project. But if you're using it to move something better than you can ever do with what you have, I don't see why that's a bad thing.
And then where do you see, with the AI, so where does the human element come into play there for you? Like you said, you seem to sort of have an idea of where the line is between being, human being creating an artistic piece of work versus just having the robots create it for you. Where do you see your line being?
I don't want to create humans and stuff. I want to get the actors to be the actors. But if it's a creature, say, I have a Bigfoot suit that's standing right here for my new Bigfoot movie. There's a scene in the movie that I want to do where the Bigfoot's standing over a soldier and he grabs it and throws the Bigfoot into the woods far, like a far throw, gets rid of the guy kind of thing. And that can all be done by me having the Bigfoot standing over a soldier and just prompting it to throw the guy. And it will look exactly like I have my actors dressed up. It's just doing a scene that would cost a bit, and now I can just create it.
Yeah, and the funny part is, I don't know if you remember all those those YouTube videos from maybe the last 10, 15 years where they had these people who were showing you how to do ultra low budget visual effects, using After Effects and doing some you don't need the Hollywood budget to do this. You just need After Effects and a little bit of skill level to figure out how to motion graphic it into place, like making a person get squished by a car or look like they were hit by a car, and using Photoshop to kind of recreate that motion.
It's the same thing as that, but just way better.
But that's always been seen as oh, this is really scrappy and interesting and so on. But now, the AI is taking it to that next level, and you can actually still be using those tools and augmenting those tools to make it even better, to have more control over how the end result looks.
Yeah, I've hired VFX guys and stuff for movies. Beyond the Line had a cool VFX scene right at the beginning. If I had the budget to get someone to do all that, it's really cool to have people do that stuff. But if I don't have the budget and I need a cool scene, if I can just type it up and it comes up, that's a dangerous thing for the VFX, really. You know what I mean? I would say get the VFX guys, get into prompting.
Yeah. Almost like learn, that's the way, that's the place you want to do it, so that you can then create the shot, and then figure out how to learn how to give it the instructions to fine tune.
Because now we can make the action scenes happen before we actually do all the acting stuff. So now we know exactly what it's going into. So it's kind of like it's crazy.
It's always been a bit of a blurred line, because we always talk about, like, visual effects, practical effects, creative effects. That's always been a magic trick, right? Like, it's not so much what we actually physically do on the day. It's more, what does the audience believe we did when we were when that, or what does the audience believe is happening on the screen? Like, we all know that the puppets are puppets, but it's that the puppets do something that is scary or funny or interesting is what matters ultimately in the end. And we're not judging necessarily even the realism of the puppets. We're just judging, is the storytelling good? Is the pacing good? Are the jump scares in the right spot? Are we grossed out, or are we laughing? Are we doing those things in that thing? And I noticed that, like, I watched your Christmas movie mostly because Sadie, who is in the movie, was also in our movie, and wanted to see how she did. And it's like, it ranks up there with any Christmas movie that gets made for $2 million, just in terms of storytelling and all that other stuff. Like, there's nothing that another movie brings to the table that is any less than that.
That was only like a couple of grand to make that one. That was like 2 grand, I think it was, or something like that. It was like nuts. But we did it like a warehouse, corner of a warehouse. I had to do stuff. It was just like, let's just do this. And that's the thing. I just do it.
You did so much, and then you've sort of backed off a little bit, but now you're kind of coming back.
I just had a fourth child like 2 months ago, so we're just deep in it, and we're trying to juggle that and figure out how we're doing. Because we have a 2-year-old as well, so, and then a 5 and a 8-year-old. So it's, well, 6 and an 8-year-old. It's just crazy. So I'm trying to get my hand on that. So it's like, I wouldn't say a burnout. It's more like a regroup, refresh, because I got a bunch of stuff coming. But even me on my slow time, I brought out Freakies, Belladonna, and Bigfoot Country 2, and that was me on my downtime. So I brought out 3 movies on a downtime, and I didn't even think about making Belladonna. That just happened, and that was a fun one to make. Life for Life hasn't released yet. That's with Sadie as well. Sadie stars in that movie. That's not even released yet. I've been slowly. It's about a year and a half now since that one, but that one's been put back because Halloween came, and I wanted to get the Halloween movies out. So it was always a side movie, but it's one of my better movies, I would say. It's action packed, and it's fun. So it's an action movie, which was really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's so fascinating, because it's like, gosh, how many filmmakers I talk to who, from idea to finish, if it ever gets finished, is like 3 to 5 years. So what would the turnaround be for you? Like, from idea to, like, it's up on YouTube?
So Bigfoot Country was 2 months. That was a 2 month, like basically from start writing. I didn't write the whole thing. I wrote the idea, and then we kind of created it as we went. And Mermaid Isle was 2 months. The quickest was Belladonna. That was about a month and a half from, because I made that for YouTube, and that's actually releasing soon on platforms, Halloweenish. That was really fun.
Do you have any influences in this, or do you have any, like, people that you sort of have mentored you, even if not like in person, but just, I have an idea of one that might be there, but I don't know if this is true or not. Is Roger Corman kind of like, this feels very Roger Corman-y?
Yeah, I've had that come up a lot. I don't really kind of like, I have films that inspire me to like Gremlins inspired Freakies, things like that, like World War II movie. I just always been a fan of World War II movies, so I just like, let's do it. Everyone's like, no, you're never going to be able to do that. Like, why not? Let's do it. So I did it, and it's fun. It was a fun, awesome movie. I don't know if you know Chris Walters. Chris Walters is in that movie, actor in Vancouver, English guy, and Jackson Berlin.
I don't know the names, but I watched the film, and I was like, I mean, it's a very well made.
5 days, I rented a motel, the whole motel, and we just kind of had everyone there, and we had a good time, made the movie, and that was a really fun one to make. Really fun.
Wow. Yeah, because that one you got, you basically, you sourced all your costumes from, like, army surplus stores and things like that.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of them ain't perfect, and that, like, I wasn't even thinking of that. The guy in the store was helping me with that, so whatever's wrong, he messed that up, not me. For the new one, I'm doing World War Bigfoot, and we have some pretty epic medic costumes, and it's going to be a really fun one, and you get some cool human and Bigfoot interactions. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Is that how you approach it? You write the idea, and then you flesh it out as the production elements come into play?
Yeah, it depends what it is. Like, I'm writing a script for World War Bigfoot right now because I just got the idea so clear in my head that it's there. I'm writing Mermaid Isle 2, which I'm doing in August. That one is I'm writing them at the same time, which is weird because I juggle them, and I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I do it. A lot of miniature work too. I make a lot of miniatures. So I got the World War II trucks are all done in miniatures. It's all going to be like real but miniature, which I'm going to have fun doing all that. And I do that in my backyard. I've created like a miniature woods. So because if you think about it, when you're using like the kind of long lenses, what are they called? The miniature lenses. Yeah, macro lenses with a movement and stuff coming through, because you got to pump a lot of light on those things. You need a lot of light, and it's like with a bit of fog and the headlights of the truck coming down, you get some really cool shots just from miniatures. I love making movies. I'm going to make movies. I don't care if AI takes over. I will always make movies. It's going to happen.
Like whatever level it comes in.
It's just nothing's bothered me with it. I take it as like COVID happened. I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that like do anything. Like I made a movie during that, like, and then I just keep going. And it's like I have this. It's a disease, I think.
Some people call it it's either a disease or it's like it's a manic addiction or something like that, where it's like if I'm not creating something else. But you see, for a lot of even just independent filmmakers, the act of creation is again, it's one of those things. It's like, be patient, write your script, make your script perfect, then go and try to raise the money for the script, then cast your actors, make sure you get someone who can, distributors are going to like, then put the production together. And the funny part about that is that that's for the independent filmmaker. We're not talking about the Marvel filmmaker. We're talking about that's the pathway for the independent filmmaker. So is this kind of like some of the lessons you give students in school or things like that?
The academy ended last year. They closed it off, and we did continue it, and we made a feature film with the class. So we had, I think, 12 students, and we made a feature film for that. So I try and show them the way that I make films, and that's what we did. Like, we kind of just made the movie, and it's actually hard making it with 12 teenagers. They're awesome filmmakers, but it's trying to like get it done in the time frame. It's tough, but we did it, and we had a great showing, and that movie releases soon too. It's called Dark Woods.
What do you see as the downside in your approach? Like, do you see a downside, or is there something you wish you didn't have to do that you wind up having to do?
I just wish I had another me that understood like I understood. That would kind of like, I don't want to be conceited or anything like that, but like my brain works in weird ways, and it's like a lot of people don't understand how I'm thinking. But then that's I don't know how that would be, but someone like that I could understand it more.
Yeah, it's almost like if you had to describe this approach and then you had to convince someone to give you like a little bit of extra money to make something, you have to almost like corporatize yourself to make it work. But that would take away the essence of what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't if someone came and said, "Oh, here's $1 million. What can you do with that?" I would make probably tons of little movies, tons of them. Like, instead of $1 million movie, like, no, there's no. To me, that doesn't work in my filmmakings.
20K movies.
Exactly. And then that would be great.
And then you've taken this approach of self-distributing on your own YouTube channel. When did you start doing that?
With the Vision Films, they allow me to put it on my channel as well, and that's pretty amazing. So it just, Beyond the Line just blew up on the YouTube. I just went like 12 million views right now. It's just like, I can't believe that many people. Like, there's 12,000 people watching it every single day. That's a lot of people watching your movie, right? And this is not in US, Canada. This is in other countries, right? Everywhere else is my fans. My fans aren't here. But that's okay. That's okay.
How do you communicate with your fans, or do you communicate with them, or is it just through the movies?
Every time they comment, so I don't know, there's a lot of comments that comes in, so I'm always talking. You got haters, you got lovers, you got everybody. I'm like, I talk to them all. Like, I know they're not for everybody, these movies, but then they're not for everybody. I'm not making them for everybody. I'm making for the person that likes it. That's the person I'm making it for. My first negative comment was, "I hope the director dies." That was the first one I read. And I was like, oh, that hit me. And I was like, why would someone say that? Because I didn't know anything really about the social media stuff. I let that just whatever. And then it grew. I get haters. I get people that love it. Like, it's just, you get everything. And it's just embrace it all. Because the haters start conversations. And that's what you want.
And maybe you find that some of the haters inspire people who like watch it and go like, no, this is effing great, or whatever it is. And then someone else says, that's what I loved about it.
Yeah. Back to your question, when you said, what would I need? What would I want in like on a set or whatever? it would be behind the scenes, guys. That would probably be the best thing to see how we're making these movies, because it will blow mine sometimes how we're doing this. Like, there's some amazing stuff we've done, and it's like, wow, no one's there.
Well, you're making them in like 5 days. I mean, that's the other thing too. Is that an attribution to the fact that you have such a small, nimble crew that you can just kind of move and not?
When I was doing 3 Hours Till Dead, it was like there was a scene in the barn, and the house was not that far. It was like a little walk. It was just one shot in the barn. I could have just got that with the actor, boom, boom, go. But everyone was coming. They were waiting for everybody, all the makeup artists and all this. You know, it's like, this is not needed. It's not needed, right? It's not needed. And it was a little arguments and stuff, but it was like, it's literally not needed. So as they were waiting for it, I just went and done it and got it. And by the time everyone got there, I did the shot and I walked back. And we're like, we're done. Move up, move up. This is where I need, like, it's hard to understand what's going on in here. And that's what my biggest battle is trying to get my stuff out.
Like you've got what you want in there, and you're like, no, we're good to.
And a lot of actors are really cool at the fast filmmaking. It's awesome. It's fun. They get to make up a lot of lines themselves and like actually do some acting and stuff. So it works out really well.
It would be more romantic if they stayed together.
The door would not stay afloat.
It's a movie, not a documentary.
Are you insane, bro? It was a real life tragedy.
Why are you so obsessed with tragedy?
Here's an idea. Why don't the two of you take your hot takes to Pelleplat? They're holding a contest for people like you. Plus, there's cash prizes.
Game on.
So, who won?
Straight away.
We both won. Yeah, we found our people.
Perfect. By the way, what about the end of Inception?
Don't even.
No,
I know you're
listen,
gonna start,
no,
but
I've
told
no, you need to look at
Pelleplat Writing Challenges, where passionate minds meet. Join today at pelleplat.com.
But you deliver your work, but you're not like sitting there going, okay, everybody's watching to see if I get this right. It's kind of like, well, if the director likes it, we're moving on, and if the director doesn't like it, we'll do it again, and we'll just keep doing it until it's.
Because I edit and film like I know exactly what I shot and I know where I'm cutting that. That's when I know that I got it. Okay, go. It's like most of the people that I work with now kind of understand that when I got it. Like boom, I know I got it because I get the angles, and I won't stop shooting until I get the shot I want. I will get it. Like more times than not, it's like the first, second take. Like that's it. I usually know I got it, but depends on how difficult the scene is.
It feels to me like it's something that gets everybody out of their head because we stop overthinking.
Yeah, I like to kind of 4-hour days or something. Like I don't like to do more than 4 hours. So I don't go long days. I can't do the long. I want everyone's fresh, everyone in it for that 4 hours, and then you relax, like, you know. And then, but in that 4 hours, I'm pumping out like pages. It's good stuff.
So in 4 hours, you're getting like, is that 4 hours, and then how many days of shooting?
5, 6, maybe depends on what. Like it's hard because Belladonna, I think, was 6 days, but one of the days I was there for like 20 minutes. So, you know what I mean? It was just to get a shot that I forgot or whatever. So in a way, it could be, I could squeeze it to 3 if I wanted to, but some of the scenes, like I've been writing a little bit more intense stuff lately. So it's like harder to.
Might need a little more work.
Like I got a really cool YouTube series of Bigfoot Chronicles that I want to do that I have like, I think 10 episodes are like half-hour episodes. For my channel, it would be amazing. This is what they want. They want these shows and stuff. So I'm working on that, and we've got some family fun ones as well. So it'd be kind of cool.
It just blows my entire concept of making films to hear you say like 4 to 5 hours a day and then finish in 5 days. I mean, first of all, if I were like you like, even if you did have a tiny crew, like that's a dream, right? Like being able to just show up, work for a few hours, go home. I mean, you basically are home for dinner and you're not even thinking.
And that's the thing. My kids, having 4 kids, like, you know, they're all going through their, like my son's playing soccer and horse riding for my daughter. Like it's just becoming, they're all doing these things. So I want to be here for them. I want to see them grow up, but I also want to make movies. So I get them involved as well. Like I got a family dog movie that I want to do with my daughter and my son. We're going to play with that and see how that goes. So I know family films are really wanted by certain companies. So I enjoy doing those. They're fun as well. You can be a little bit quirky, a little bit fun, and it's pretty fun to do. Like Elvis the Pig, that was really fun.
Those are really fun movies that, again, like they are comparable, if not in some cases even more, just because of that method that you're using, even a little more whimsically intriguing than the boilerplate stuff that we might be seeing. Like an Elvis the Pig that would be made by Hallmark might be a very watered down version of that, right? Like it might not be the same idea, and that quirky sort of whimsicalness that you're able to bring to it, because you're playing with your money, you're not playing with other people's money.
With Elvis the Pig, I was the first movie that I got dubbed in a different language, which is absolutely awesome. I think it was in Spanish. In Spain, it's actually doing really well there. They love it. That was our own pig. That was our pet pig we had. And he passed away last year. So he was a cool animal. He lives on. It's like the dog in Freakies is my other dog. And that one's going to live on too.
Is there any creative solution that you have, or creative challenge that you've had in making any film where and where that actually has been a thought of yours? Because it sounds like you just bowl right through it. If it's a creative solution, a creative challenge that comes up, you're like, no, this is how we'll deal with it.
Exactly. If it's, I'll figure out a way to do it. If we do have the money there, it's like, I'll see where the best place for the money is. Like, can we do that? Is it going to be effective enough to worry about? Does anyone care that they're going to see that piece? A lot of times, half of the time is no, but usually every movie that I do, I have something that is like cool in the movie, like the mermaid tail for the mermaid, Bigfoot suit for the Bigfoot, something that is like what the movie is about. Like the creature is like, there's always something keeping it. Because, when you have like no name actors as well, it's like you need something to hook the movie, and the creature or the things are going to hook the movie, right? Not the actors at that moment, but they might create it in the movie. But once to actually get people on it, you need the creature or the Bigfoot or something. That's what I feel is working in my favor.
Like an Elvis the Pig is like, oh, we're going to a movie about a pig. That's cool.
Yeah. And then the actors were great. The actors were great in that movie, and they made the movie. It was awesome. It was fun. I really had a blast. That was made really quick too. That was a fast movie. But I actually went to Vision Films and asked them, I said, what do you want? Because I guess they don't get many times where they're asked, what do we want? Like, what can we have made for us? So they said, do you have any weird animals? I said, I have a pig. They're like, oh, cool. Make us, write us a script and see it. And I made the movie. I didn't write the script. I just made the movie. And then they had it. And then it was like, great. And that was a really cool moment for sure.
So how do you approach working with actors at this speed? Let's say you bring a new person to the equation. Like, how are you preparing them?
I'm not a mad guy. I don't get angry or anything like that. But it's like, you know what? This is the script. We're going to do this. You do it, and I'll just change you as you go. Depends on how fast we're doing the movie. Like Freakies, I had a couple of students from our academy and stuff. They did a really great job. Fun to work with. They were awesome. I would work with them again. They're awesome. It's just that. I just kind of, whoever I like, Jason Benson. Do you know Jason Benson in Vancouver? He's starring in the Bigfoot World War Bigfoot. He's going to be my main medic soldier, and like I've worked with him in Life for Life, Freakies he was in, and we just have this cool relationship. So it's like, hey, you want to do it? Let's do it. We're going to be getting other actors for that movie, but it's just he's locked in because I get along, we work together, he understands, and we can make it fun. It's about having fun too.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like it's like, let's make movie making fun, right? Like it is really. So like, I'm just trying to think like, okay, so on your crew, you're going to have your makeup artist.
It depends on what movie it is. Yeah.
Are you making those puppets too, or is someone else making that?
Isabel Faulu, makeup artist in Vancouver. She made that one, and she worked on 3 Hours So Dead, Beyond the Line, a bunch of my movies. So whenever I get something cool, I offer her if she wants to do it, and she made that amazing Freaky, which was awesome. I remember the day getting it, and it was just like she brought it out, and it was like, wow, this is like coolest thing.
Who are the people that need to be on set with you?
I have like the last movie I had a couple of students that were just teaching as well. Like they kind of helped out really, really well. Basically an AC, just being there just to help me out, and they even shot some shots as well, some BTS as well. So one guy just to basically be there, and then the actors. That's what I have for Freakies. I didn't have anyone else. It was just me and one guy. But it depends on the movie I'm doing. Like Mermaid Isle, we have a little budget for that movie. So we're going to have a little crew, and it's going to be really fun to do. World War Bigfoot, hopefully we get the budget from Vision, which would be great. If not, I'm making it anyway.
Right. Yeah, you know how to make it without anybody's money, but if you get some money,
Exactly. So I got a really good idea. Their help would just make it easier in a way. Still going to get made the same way, but just
yeah, and might not even be like there might not even be a better or a worse version of this. It just might be this is the version that could get made.
yeah. I have a style, just the way I do it, and I haven't changed. Don't make movies, don't this, don't that. I've been hearing it a lot my whole life. You can't do this, can't. It's like that over the head, and I just do it because I love it, and then I get to enjoy my family doing it as well. My wife like acts and stuff, and like it's fun.
Like, what is the biggest misconception you would see with independent films? Like, aside from the way you do it, do you see anything that is not being approached properly, or that people are missing the forest for the trees kind of thing in terms of making films that you feel like you're answering that? I guess is the question is, do you see your way as the right way, or do you see your way as one option?
I say that's my way. Everyone has a way of making movies. What makes like, say, if you did it my way, you might get overwhelmed and oh my god, I can't do this. But or you might be like, whoa, dude, this is amazing. I just like think making a movie is like, I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a director. I'm not an editor. I'm not this. I'm a filmmaker. I make the film. And that's what the difference is between me. Is like I make the film. I don't do lighting in a film, or that I make the film. If I have people to do that, awesome. If not, that's okay. I understand. I can only pay the people that I could pay until I go, until stuff happens. But in a real world, it's just getting by.
Yeah, in the real world, it's like it's also like it's that feeling of we have to build a collaborative set, right? Like we have to build this like cohesive set, but it feels like also you have far more creative control because your collaborations are with smaller groups of people. Like your actors are still collaborating, but you're not actors plus crew plus all these other people who are providing their own feedback and input, and like this is how we need to do it, and this is how this needs to be done, and let's get our proper setups being done and so on, or someone who's being precious about necessarily their contribution to the film. Yeah, it's really fascinating. So like if you went to someone, I'm trying to find an interesting like angle for like a person who's like, I want to be a filmmaker. I'm going to go talk to Jason today and find out what he thinks about how to make a film. What would, and I'm like, I have $5,000 and I want to make a feature film. Jason, what should I do?
Make it for $800. Make it for cheaper, $500, and just like your first movie, you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know really. You're just doing it. Don't spend as much as you can. Don't think about the money. Like have your budget, but don't think about making money. Just think about, what, you just bought something for $500. Think I'm going to make it. And then you never know what happens because ad revenue, people might get hooked on it in Philippines and just like watching it. And then the ad revenue comes in. So you can make money off of little films and stuff like that. It can work. If you want to do bigger than that, then you can. But it's like the rate that I'm watching with the Hollywood and everything and what's going on there, that's crazy. All they got to do is just cut it down. But it's hard because that is jobs they're losing and everything like that. There is jobs, there is crazy, but that's kind of like adapt. You got to adapt to it. You still need acting. You still need all this stuff.
Yeah, and you still need storytelling, and you need to tell a story. And I mean, if you're going to use the medium of a feature film medium, which is whatever, what would you say is like the minimum length for a quote unquote official feature film?
So 70 minutes is like, I kind of like making them about, but my last couple of scripts have been like 55 minutes. And it's like, I don't want to force it. I'm just like letting it happen. Like for some reason, I'm making shorter content. Is that because people's attention spans or my attention span maybe but I've noticed and then when I try and stretch them, it's just, I'm drawing them out and I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to closer to 60 minutes as I can, but it's not a big deal, especially when you're putting them on these play. If someone wants to watch it, they're going to watch it, whether it's another 10 minutes long or not, right? Freakies is about 55 minutes, but with the stuff that I've added now, it's up there now with closer to 70, which is great. But it's like, that's just because I've added so much coolness to it. It's just cool.
Is there a genre you haven't explored yet that you want to?
I haven't done a romance one. I did have a horse romance movie written and stuff, so I might continue with that one because they do like there's an audience out there for them. It's not my audience, but it would be an audience for a distributor. So I do make movies for distributors as well, but I make movies for YouTube because that's what's giving me monthly like pay. So I'm feeding my YouTube.
I mean, obviously, it's easy enough to like look at your channel and watch the views and go, okay, well, clearly you're making, there's some monetization happening here. When did you come up with, or did you happen upon that idea, or that just?
So around COVID time, I guess. Well, around COVID time, I was like, oh, everyone's getting worried. Oh no! So I think I put my movies on YouTube, and I put some stuff on there, and I just kind of overnight it just went boom, and I was like, what? So I had about 30,000 subs, and I was like, oh, I can monetize now. So then I monetize, and at first it's like monetizing nothing. It's nothing. Then you can get like a good one, like a 5,000 a month, and then it's like 2,000 a month, and it's 1,700 a month. It's so all over the place, and it's still all over the place, but it allows me to create now. I can keep pumping out these little movies to get, one of them's going to hit. And I know now I've figured out my audience because they have a really cool trends thing on YouTube now. You can type it in, it'll tell you if it's worth you even posting this video, which is a big deal. Like, why make the movie if no one's going to watch it? Why make, you know what I mean? Like, make the video or whatever. But if I'm doing Bigfoot movie, anything Bigfoot will be watched on my channel. So it's like, okay, I love making Bigfoot stuff. So I invested in a little Bigfoot suit, a good one, and then we kind of, it's to come. The new stuff's to come.
The one thing I've been hesitant on with YouTube is the fact that, the view length, like obviously a feature film, even a 55-minute film is, you have to keep the audience there.
Yeah, that's what I've learned as well. Change the start of a movie, kind of make it really kind of intense, engaging in the first to keep them in. It depends really, like who your audience. Like I can say what works for me or whatever, but like I could say try this and it won't do anything. And when you see all these videos of blow your YouTube up, it's like that's what they did. It's not going to work for everybody. Like so, you really, I would say luck in a way, and it blew up. So it gave me a new. I have a platform of my own now that I can kind of keep growing and also work with companies and do things, because that's what Vision allows me to put the movies on after they've had their run.
And you're bringing an audience to them anyway, because, you've got these 140,000 people.
It's like 36 million views on the channel. Like it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, so like when your next movie goes on Vision, they already know you've got that there might be a captive audience.
I always check with them to see if this is something they want. If you interested in this, because then I'll put a little bit more effort in certain areas and stuff like that. But depends on what I'm doing. Yeah, so it's all about what I can see. I'm not trying to make the most amazing movie in the world. I'm not trying to do that. One day I do want to make the best Bigfoot movie ever, but I'm a ways off of that. Yeah.
Well, you might do it if you make 10 of them.
It's a goal, yeah.
You can't necessarily make the same movie that you would want to make for, let's say, Netflix or something like that, because the opening credits, for example, you can't have a 4-minute opening credit sequence at the beginning of a YouTube video, right? Like people go like, skip ahead or turn off.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now is cut the intro out, and then you can do an intro late, like after the first little bit. What do you want to? You want to basically get the first 20% watching, and then whatever, because basically YouTube is most people watch about 20 to 30% and then they're done, because it's not a movie thing, it's a video watching thing, right? So the movie thing's just taken off on there. If you're there for 3 movies, people do love, there's an audience for that. So that's what I'm doing it for. I'm just doing it for the people that like it.
Do you ever want to show your films in movie theaters or things like that? Or
we've had a bunch of premieres and stuff, which is our Bigfoot Country was in there. 3 Hours to Dead was at the Rio. It was really fun. Like, yeah, I like doing all that stuff. After COVID, I think I've had maybe one after the COVID premiere. I don't know why it kind of changed, but I haven't premiered one. I premiere them on YouTube, the new ones for YouTube, but when I release them, they release with Vision and they do their release. So,
but is that important to you at all, or is that just something you're like, however they watch it, they watch it?
It's cool. It's definitely cool. Like I love it. Like I love having everybody there watching it, and they, there's always nice people saying nice stuff and all that, and it's cool. Like getting posters, giving them away and stuff. I love all that stuff. Like I've been to festivals and stuff, and which has been amazing. One in Sacramento was really cool. There was people that came that they drove 3 hours to meet me, and I was like, wow. That's like, so I gave him a free t-shirt or whatever. The first movie I went with festivals and stuff, and I've done a few festivals, but I've kind of stopped doing the festival stuff just because I just produce. But I kind of wouldn't mind putting Freakies in because I think Freakies is pretty unique and cool, especially in a crazy film world.
Well, I mean, there's obviously those sort of niche genre film festivals like the Fantasias and and so on that are good for those kind of style of films. And it's interesting that I mean, it feels like maybe I don't want to overinflate what you think, but it's this idea of you almost becoming your own brand here. Like you've got 130,000 people on your YouTube channel. That's a lot of people who are interested in what you are making, not necessarily even the specific films themselves, but the next film you're making or the ones you've made prior.
It's 2,000 a month, like subs coming in, like 2,000 subs. So it's like it's growing, and people are watching these movies every day, and it's crazy to me.
And are you doing anything to like improve engagement other than just trying to make more films?
Well, there's new things happening on YouTube, so there's a new community thing that just happened. So I'm going to be starting doing all that, and I want to get more live videos of me making the miniature stuff and all that. Like I want to do live and how I'm doing it all because it's really cool. Like I want to show you what the final product looks like, but how I did that. Like, and sometimes I'm so on the project that I forget about the videos making it all the time. Actually, I never have behind the scenes. I have a few things, but nothing crazy.
It's so hard because you have to think to yourself, like, it would be very cool to have someone just sitting there with a camera watching you make something.
And that's one thing that I probably will have one day. I will have someone just follow me around like when I'm shooting, because it's like hard to explain things. I'm not a great explainer of anything. I just do it. I just shoot it. I have a logo called Just Shoot It. And I have a show. There's a show where we watched the movie that I made with the actors, some of the actors, and we're watching They Came from the Attic, and it's called Just Shoot It. And we just kind of like talk about how it was, which is really cool. I wasn't planning on doing every movie, but it's like a lot of work, a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole thing of like, people love the director, the bonus DVD features, right? Like those are the kind of things that people will buy DVDs for, but YouTube has become that way where you can kind of almost have that bonus section of a DVD that, for people who don't buy the DVD.
YouTube's funny because it's like they want on my channel. They just want movies. They don't want me talking or the blah 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 blah. It's weird. It's like they're there for the movies. So, but I kind of want to let them know that these movies are like ultra low budgets. Like these are nothing movies that have come something.
You do have a lot of that behind the scenes stuff and the movies on the channel. Do you find, I know that YouTube, like you said, like they like to put you in, they like to have one channel for one thing and one channel for another thing. And you've kind of kept everything together.
So I did the movies for the Clown Motel movie. I have 40 episodes of how I made the movie. That was one. So I was making the movie and shooting those and posting those every day. It was nuts time. I had a baby, first baby was born. So it was all like new. I was doing it. And I thought that was going to be the blow up on the YouTube. Okay, let's do this. That does nothing. It gets like 500 views, nothing. It was like still nothing. Still to this day, it gets nothing. When I go back and look at it, I'm like, you know what? I'm literally just making a movie. Like this is me just making a movie. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I wouldn't have changed anything doing it now. Like I wouldn't have put any more effort into them. I would have just done that. So it's like, do I do that again with another movie, or it's hard. It's hard to say. Is it worth it? I can make another movie instead. I don't like doing that.
It's sort of funny. It's like, it's an important thing and probably like will long-term be useful and helpful and probably do what it needs to do for you. But it's in the moment you're like, well, no, I just wanted to make the movie and let it speak for itself a little bit. And if they wanted to see some of me later, talking about how it was made, that's fine. That can be in an interview or something.
Yeah. Like I get some new fans watching them and stuff that are coming from that, which is kind of cool. That's like, they like them, and I try and interact with them when they message me personally or whatever. Or I talk to her as many as I can.
Well, here's a thought experiment then. But if people basically, mimicked, I wouldn't say mimicked, but if people wanted to copy your approach, that would be the perfect place to have that kind of content, because they could sit there and go, okay, if I want to make my $800 movie, I just follow the playlist and go for it myself. And you could, and if there's more people doing that, then obviously there's more people watching your channel. So it's almost like a circular ecosystem of views.
It is. It's just, you just got to kind of figure it out. And YouTube keeps changing all the time with the algorithm stuff. So it's like, it's hard to keep up. I don't get my head deep in it. I just post, make movies and live basically. And that's all I want to do.
And you'll adapt if it needs to adapt.
Exactly. I've been doing this back when the Panasonic DVX 100, I think it was. That's what we were using with They Came From the Attic. So, that was all tapes that you had to do. Like, so I've been doing it this way, the same way, but like I shoot obviously with better cameras now, but like it's the same way I'm shooting. I'm still doing that same thing. I use the GH5 now, the Lumix GH5. And the GH6 maybe I might get, but this is still good. It looks great. It's fun to use. I know it. I've always used Panasonic. So that's a good sponsor right there. Panasonic should come in. 18 movies shot with a Panasonic.
Panasonic GH5. But I mean, 99% of the audience doesn't leave the theater going, I wonder what the camera was that they used on that.
Oh, exactly. I'm not making it for the filmmaker. I'm making it for the audience, right? The filmmaker is always going to negatize what you're doing. They're going to whatever. But the audience, they can have their say.
And the audience doesn't have to know a thing about filmmaking in order to enjoy a movie.
I've been shooting a lot with projectors right now, like projector. It's pretty amazing stuff, like the nighttime stuff for sure. So I did a few movies. There's a few movies and all the nighttime stuff is all projector stuff. It's pretty amazing and looks pretty good. So that's what I'm doing with the World War II. So there's a big truck crash where the Bigfoot smashes the truck off the road and stuff. Oh, spoiler alert. Anyway, smashes it off, and it's all done on projectors and cardboard boxes of green with a Bigfoot suit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun.
Can't wait to see that. Well, you know what? This hour has flown by. Thank you so much for your time. Is there one, last piece of advice you'd give to your beginning self that if you had to start over?
Write what you can make. Write to what you can actually do to what you want, because sometimes what you want, you can make, you wanted a plane crash. That's quite, you're putting that into a script. It's quite intense, but you can do a plane crash off camera with a little bit of light. Boom, that happened. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways you can do stuff when you're starting out. Because at first, I want this. Oh, I want this big skyscrapers and all. It's yo, calm down. Make a movie first. Chill out. So They Came From the Attic was basically an attic of a house. They came from the attic. Simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. And still to this day, the simple movies are the ones that are watched the most.
Well, it's that old concept with Steven Spielberg and Jaws, right? Like the shark doesn't appear in the movie until basically the last third of the film.
Yeah, and I do that a lot, especially with Bigfoot. Yeah, because you don't know what Bigfoot looks like. No one really does. So to me, when I make a Bigfoot movie, I don't want to show full-on Bigfoot walking down the street. Hey, what's going on? It's just not, it doesn't work for me. He needs to be peeking through a tree, behind trees and that. And even when they have their moments, he's still got to be hidden, because he's Bigfoot. So there's going to be some cool moments in this movie. Yeah, it's no one knows what it is. So that's why I like making it, because you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but even a movie like Predator, for example. I mean, Predator is invisible. I mean, imagine you've got an entire movie with an invisible villain.
But that's amazing though. That keeps your imagination going, and that's what you want to do.
Well, thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate your time. So everybody, you need to head over to Mills Pictures Studio on YouTube. You want to know what we were talking about here, you'll watch it on the channel. People can also reach you. You have a great website and all these other things. People can check you out and see what you're up to and see what your next films are. You'll probably have 7 films before in the next year, it sounds like. So
I would say Life of Life's coming out, and then Bigfoot Country 3, which is the 3rd installment of that movie, which my YouTube loves them, so I'm going to keep making them. And then I have a series that I want to make, which is 5 or 6 episodes of Bigfoot Chronicles. So it's going to be fun. But the mermaid ones are the crazy ones. A company told me just make a mermaid movie, see what they do. And I'm like, okay. So mermaids are cool. Mermaids are really cool.
And mermaids are mysterious.
Yeah. We got a really cool makeup artist for that movie, so the mermaid looks legit. So really cool.
Well, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.
You too. Take it easy.